Hey everybody, welcome to You Know TED, where I share business lessons I've learned over the last 2 decades in running my own digital marketing agency. I thought I'd share 3 lessons I learned in 2023 about building and maintaining an awesome team. Before we begin, remember to like, subscribe, and share this video. This really helps me build better content for you in the future. Lesson 1, hiring is a team game. In 2023, it was a tight labor market. We all know this. And I fell back into that scarcity mentality that, oh no, I need someone to do this job. 2023 was great, but we had more work than people at times in the year. And so what we ended up doing sometimes was hiring too desperately and just hoping for the best. And that unfortunately caused this kind of revolving door. Don't hire on the spot. I was so infatuated with this one candidate that we had. I mean, they were awesome. Everything hit the mark. The interview went well. I was like, when can you start? I did not let my HR team do their job. I didn't actually let them kind of do the hiring, review the references, and negotiate the right package. And as a result, well, they didn't really last that long. I introduced them to a bunch of clients going, oh, this person's great. But 4 days later, they decided, this isn't for me. And that was a result of not going through our process. Got a little egg on the face. It wasn't great. Another thing for production team members, we actually need senior production members to actually interview them, at least 1 or 2, so that we know that they can actually do the job the way that we do it. We made the mistake. This person came in, their resume was good. They interviewed management and leadership. Everything was great. And then when they came to the role and started doing the work, we started seeing that this individual, for whatever reason, had less work on their plate. And then everyone else had more work on their plate. And the reason why is that their team members didn't have confidence in their work. They couldn't actually trust this person who they liked as a human being to actually do the job. We have to consider when we're interviewing people moving forward that a production person actually talks to them, make sure that they know their stuff. Because as leadership, at least in my world now, I mean, I'm pretty far removed in my day-to-day from the business. I don't have my hands on the keyboard to know if this person is up to snuff, as it were, in the production side of things. Another thing about when hiring being a team game is got to be upfront with your candidates about our processes and the structures that we have. For some of the people that we bring on, we are too structured. For some of the people that we brought on, we don't have enough structure. So it's kind of finding that sweet spot to the person that we're bringing on to make sure that we are in fact the right fit for them and they're the right fit for us. And the last thing about when hiring being a team game is we also have to get feedback and alignment with the candidate before bringing them on. We had somebody that we brought on that we felt, you know what, if we groom them a bit, they're going to be able to do this part of the job, or they're going to grow this way and they're going to grow that way, without actually asking, hey, if we see this in you, and before we, kind of sign the paper and get you to come onto the team, do you see yourself here down the line? Because when we started trying to move that person that way, we realized, hey, while they have the skill set to do it, they didn't really want to do that. The second lesson is course correct faster and be more assertive about it. I was trying to drop hints. This individual that I'm thinking about, they were doing things the way that they know how to do things. They were doing it the way that they've always done things in their previous roles. And I was just kind of dropping hints like, hey, maybe you should try this, or maybe you should try that, and giving suggestions. Unfortunately, because I'm the boss, when I'm giving these suggestions, the person is now hearing them as orders, as like, okay, I got to do this now, and I got to do this now. One thing after another, it kind of blew up a little. And so I really had to rein it back and own my own part. That, you know what, okay, I got to recognize how I need to be when I'm in a leadership position. That, okay, maybe me giving suggestions is what I think it is, but I got to validate whether or not I'm giving an order or they're seeing it as that. I brought on a third-party coach, and that person basically kind of said the same stuff that I do. However, they communicated it in a way that was a little bit more clear, a little bit more receptive to this individual. And it really kind of worked out. So that's why I think sometimes I would advocate hiring a coach if you can afford it. Now, obviously, not everyone has the funds to hire a coach, and that's totally okay. Again, I still provide coaching to some team members, but when I do that now, I'm learning to be very clear and learning to focus on the one thing. Now, what about high performing team members? Team members that are excelling in the company, but there's some kind of discontent. What I've learned over the last 12 months is to really provide a safe space for having radically candid conversation when people are under pressure. At Ballistic Arts, at my company, we have our core values. Radical Candor is one of them. And it's talking about how to care personally and challenge directly. There's a book called Radical Candor. I can put the link below in the description and just check it out. It's actually a really good way for us to get to the crux of this particular situation, but not being a jerk about it. For me, I've really had to dig into what's going on, but I had to be open and receptive to the feedback from my team. I had to break down if their concerns are valid, and if so, like really take the input. So for instance, I had someone tell me, I'm one of the older dudes in the company. I'm on Slack, and sometimes I just like say my stuff on Slack without like, hello, how you doing? That kind of stuff. And apparently I can come across as a bit of a jerk, but I took that input. So I had to really find out, like, is it some way in how I'm communicating to you that is causing this discontent? And if so, I'm only human. What can I do? How can I make my communication more receptive to you? Sometimes though, when we're having the conversation, the person starts hearing what they're saying and realizing that a lot of the pressure that they're putting on themselves is in fact from them. That's really the great thing, is that having that open communication, that open dialogue allows us to talk through kind of a bit of our conflict. And then from there, we can work it out. Ultimately, it's about finding out what's really going on underneath it all for them. And sometimes it's a personal thing. Sometimes it's just something that didn't go well with a client meeting or whatnot. But either way, we have to talk it through. And that's something that I've really tried to do this year. And I think we've done pretty well. Those are the kind of 3 hiring lessons I have from 2023 to build a better team. 1 is hiring is a team game. Number 2 is course correct faster. And number 3 is provide a safe space for radically candid conversations when under pressure. Let me know what you think in the comments below. And remember, please like and subscribe. Thanks for watching. I'm Ted Lau, and this has been You Know Ted.